Leo, it is not all about you. And you know this. And that's one of the most wonderful things and understated parts of Leo. And I've said it before. If their pride, their family, their friends, the people that they love, if they're not happy, if the kingdom isn't happy, the king or queen isn't happy. Leos are accused constantly of being all about themselves. And that is not true. They do always want to be in the lead, and they do always want to be in the spotlight. You do. But that's not the only person you care about. And if the tribe, the pride, isn't happy, isn't healthy, you're going to bust your ass and work on making it that way. So for you right now, it's so much more about taking care of others and taking care of whatever family roots you come from, whatever vitality that you know it's springing from or has potential, but it's been harmed in some way. There is definitely something about you that is motivated more toward others than yourself, because the health of those others is a direct reflection upon yourself, and you want everybody to have the very best. Two interesting cards came out for you. Let me show them to you. Lay a solid foundation. This is Virgo energy. And clear out the clutter. This is Cancer energy. I think that a part of you knows, Leo, that shit from the past has just got to be taken care of. It's got to be gone. First of all, we've got to take it out. We've got to ruffle through it. We've got to understand why the hell it even exists. Why have we held on to it for so long? And we got to clear it out so that we can actually lay concrete and foundation where all that crap used to be. We've got to let go of all the emotional baggage that's getting in the way of us being productive. However, that means what? It means that we have to confront the emotional baggage, right? There is this sentiment, this sense of really wishing for the best for somebody. Somebody else, not you. Somebody who you care about. You want them to have the very best. But you think in some ways it could be a little bit misguided, or you're worried about them. Let's just put it that way. And it may not be because they're doing anything wrong. Bottom line is, I think in a lot of ways, it's because you know they've been wronged, or they're vulnerable in some way. And how can I help? How can I help? Sometimes, Leos, in spite of yourself, in spite of, you not having a lot, you still want to help other people. You still want to make a difference in the lives of others. Yes, it does impact you and how you feel about yourself, how you can look at yourself in the morning. But ultimately, this is about making sure that people are healthy and happy and strong. There is some energy here, specifically a female who does shit just for attention. She really does. She's all about the attention that the public gives her. She's all about pain and suffering and playing the victim, maybe right out there in the open, whining and crying and always getting attention for being the victim or for being in pain. There's some sort of pain that could be really deep-rooted, deep-seated, family history, family trouble, family conflict, problems from the past that have come up, some sickness that you're just learning about now, really, that's been hidden. Or a sickness of, a fear of traveling. This could be you've been sort of like, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, right? This could have all just started to come up or be realized because of this illness, because of the pandemic, because we couldn't travel a lot. Finally just getting to realize and understand what's going on, what's happening, what this person's reality is, right? But ultimately, I think it's also frustrating for you because it's like you don't feel like you can get anywhere. You don't feel like you can go anywhere. You don't feel like you can protect this person. You don't feel like you could help this person, right? But ultimately, there's something here. There's something here about really wanting the best for this human being. Despite the fact that sometimes you see self-destructive behaviors in them, as well as maybe there's parts of them that you don't really admire that much. Unless you are a female, Leo, and then we're talking about maybe you needing so much attention that you start to do harm to others in your life simply because it's always got to be about you. You always think about the attention that you need first, or you're could be dealing with a woman like this. They always think about what they need first, despite how ill or sick or unhealthy or trapped it's making other people, right? And this is about kind of like saying something about it, talking about it, screaming about something that has happened many years ago. This could happen from your childhood, from your roots. Finally being able to let it off your chest, because it's like, and it's not even motivated by you. It's motivated by the fact that if you don't talk about this, you know it's just going to get worse. And you can already see it impacting or affecting somebody that you care about, somebody that you think has a lot of potential. But you don't want this shit getting in their way. You want you and them and everybody to be free, to be happy and loving, and not have any restraints or confinements on them, to be able to enjoy life, right? Go back to nature and be who they are. Like, be able to be who you are out loud, essentially. That's the kind of freedom that you want for everybody in your life. You can't wait. There may be some sort of restriction on you where you would really love to go and help this person, or maybe even confront this person. But ultimately, you're not going to be able to get there right now. You've been learning from people in surprising places. Like it's really been surprising you how you are starting to learn things, people that you're listening to, learning and hearing things from a different perspective, a different point of view, being surrounded by people who care about you, want to take care of you, listening to different people, listening to, like, picking up lessons wherever you can, right? Maybe even like nature, the wind. Like, that's kind of like sort of how you're like picking up your lessons now, in a much more natural way that's making you feel more connected, more happy, that the joy around you is almost like a different kind of person you want around you now. You don't want the same kind of person around you now. You want a more free-flowing, more kind of hippie-esque kind of person around you now. You don't want the same input. You don't. There's some sort of hardship here. Some sort of hardship that's holding you back. It's like you want to get away from it, or you want to move on with your life. You see the future, you see where you want to go, but there's definitely something that's sort of like, there's a challenge. And the challenge, I think, comes from, the past. I'm certain of it. This is my Halloween card too. This got to do with scorpionic energy. Something that's been repressed and pushed down for a very long time. And you want to talk about it, and you want to say something about it. And you actually need to. Something has to be done. You're aware, you're acutely aware now that this is the moment, this is the time. You can't put this off any longer. You don't want to put this off any longer. This is something that this is a darkness that you can't allow to continue. Look at this. You have color. It's almost like that scene in Wizard of Oz, right? Where she comes out into Oz for the first time and she goes from black and white to color. There's so much more to life out there, Leo. And maybe you've been living in black and white for a very long time. You don't want to live in that black and white anymore. You're ready to try new things, get out there and explore. You're about to like rip your head off right now. I feel like that's a big issue. There's a lot of feeling of confinement. And that's what sort of like you're broadening your mind, because your opportunities outward have kind of been cut off. Right? So it's like expanding your mind, maybe listening to other points of views, podcasts, taking up new hobbies. There's just a sense of mentality that's happening to you, because where you can't express your freedom outwardly, you can express it mentally, right? And it's through these mental expressions that you're starting to see somebody else's perspective and starting to make you more empathetic to what this person went through and all they had to do to overcome all they had to overcome. You're working on health, giving up anger, giving up suffering. You want to bring people together. You want to help people. You want camaraderie. You want happiness. You want the future to hold abundance and prosperity to grow in a healthy fashion. And all this, yes, it starts from you. Dealing with any kind of conflict or emotional stress that's been going on inside of you. But in finding that, and this is that empathetic kind of, what's happening in me, I want to see happening in everybody else. This sense of, as I get well, I want everybody to get well. As I do well, I want everybody around me to do well. So it's like, as within, so without for you. But I just get this feeling that there's a one person in particular that you are more worried about than ever. And maybe it's because this person is somebody you don't understand very well. You're definitely curious about them or about the things that they're about. You're trying to learn more about it. Let's get into the main reading. Oh, a rebirth is assured. You're about to take flight. This is the first card that came out. This is when your wings, you're coming out of that cocoon phase, Leo. You're waking up. You're about to be free pretty soon. Like your confinement is about to end. Yeah. I do think that this has something to do with quarantine. I can't get that out of my mind. Bring a gentle touch. There's a new relationship you're trying to start with somebody. This is Virgo energy too. You're trying to build and nurture the future. You're trying to build and nurture a situation or a circumstance. You're trying to develop this partnership, this relationship. You know that you have to go very gently and very, very easy. You know that this person is extremely different than you. And they're so different than you that you almost have to learn about them as you go. It's like they're new to you. It's like they're new to you. And you don't really know enough about them to be able, you don't have an expertise in this situation. You're kind of like stuck up in the air. It's like, which way do I go? You feel like an idiot. That's what this card is saying. You feel like an idiot. When they're around, you don't really know what to say. It's not going to stop you. Dream the world into being. Your past is affecting your future. See the haunting? The skull? All of those, any kind of secrets or shadiness, things that you're ashamed of or things that you still struggle with, it's impacting your future, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's just you're very, very aware of that pain and suffering. And that in some ways is making you extra protective of the future. Take a leap of faith. Go with your conscience. In other words, this is the Jiminy Cricket card. You know the right thing to do. Even if it seems like the unwise thing to do, it's not about wisdom. It's not about intel. It's not about what makes sense. It's about what your heart and your conscience tells you is the right thing to do. And I think you understand that people on the outside of you might think you or tell you that you look like a fool right now. And what the hell are you doing? I think there's somebody in your life, perhaps a Cancerian, that does not know how valuable they are. Or at least you don't feel like they know. They don't have to be a Cancerian. Or there's somebody who's very protective, very guarded, or somebody that you would really wish would protect themselves better. It's almost like you know why they don't value themselves as much as they should. Now, I could be talking about they. I could be talking about you. This could be you, Leo. Absolutely. This could be you. Take it as it resonates. Set healthy boundaries and know your worth. You know your worth. There's just this sense of you sort of, there's just this focus on somebody who you think is vulnerable. That really isn't making decisions based on their value. All right, Leo, you got a lot to say. Spirit has a plan. And life is a mystery. Spirit has a plan, but you don't necessarily know which way it's leading you. That's why you have to take a leap of faith. And as long as you stay strong in your sense of self-worth, you're going to be safe and protected. And if that's the example, Leo, that you can set right now, then that's what you can do right now. That's your contribution. But there's definitely something like, you don't really know. You're not really certain. You have a feeling that Spirit has something in store, but you don't really know which direction it's guided. It's still very unclear. The future is still very unclear. So you really are following in faith here. Claim your independence is here. This is Aries energy. This is your energy. Be generous of spirit. Claim your independence and be generous of spirit. And I think in some ways you're claiming your independence by being generous of spirit. You're saying, I'm not going to let all this shit that's happening around me, I'm not going to let it change me. You're following Spirit's guidance. You know that you can be of help in hard times. You also maybe see in some ways that there's bad stuff that's about to happen. And I'm not trying to say that as a warning, but it's like you want to confront it. And it's confronting it for the sake of the better, the larger picture, not necessarily for your sake. And that's the way that you're sort of like reclaiming who you are, is you're being a leader. You're sticking up for people who in some ways cannot stick up for themselves. Or in some ways, you're trying to help somebody out of a shitstorm that they've gotten themselves into. Turtle, slow and steady wins the race. This is Cancerian energy. Being very confident in your sort of emotionally stable. Taking one step at a time. A kind of faith in and of itself. But this is like happy, gentle energy. Going slow, being a good listener, being patient. Giving people time to catch up. Act as if, chameleon. Interesting. Maybe you're just faking this emotional stability. Life is speeding up. Hold on. This is going to seem funny to you. But I want to see, because I know this card was flipped upside down. So I wanted to say, nope, it was definitely meant to come upside down. This is being stuck. You hate being stuck. Feeling things unraveling because you can't do anything about it. Seeing things unraveling and not being able to do anything about it. Seeing somebody sort of undermine themselves in some way. If you're dealing with a Gemini, this is definitely happening. There's a sense of, act as if acting like everything is okay when it's not. Acting like, yeah, everything is cool and I've got this. I'm good being alone when I'm not. When I'm actually suffering, when I actually feel stuck, when I'm actually scared, when I'm actually exposed, when I'm actually vulnerable. So there's a lot of truth that has to come right now. This is a time for healing. Has a lot to do with getting rid of any kind of baggage or garbage from your past. I don't know what this woman has to do with it. If she's your inspiration or she's your motivation. As in maybe she's the one that caused the problems. Because somebody here is acting like they're wise and they know everything. And you know that they don't. It's almost like you can see the self-destructiveness or you're afraid of it. But maybe, listen, it's not self-destructiveness. Maybe it's somebody believing in themselves and taking a risk. And the best thing for you to do in that situation is to just let them take the risk and support them through it so that they have less of a chance of failing. This is, Spirit has your back. So you've been getting a lot of messages from Spirit and a lot of inspiration to step up and take the lead and to do something about current circumstances or situations. And then be here now. This is Libra energy. This is Capricorn energy, and this is Libra energy. This could have something to do with government. This could have something to do with law. This could have something to do with justice, some sort of settlement or legal issues that are finally simmering down and like smoothing themselves out. Just now, Leo, seeing the beauty and the potential in the moment, as well as like just seeing the beauty and the potential in the moment. Spirit has your back, and be here now. Maybe that's what you want to do. You want to show people how to live in the current moment and the present moment. Ultimately, though, I honestly think that there's just something here like, for the first time, you're seeing the beauty in this person. For the first time, you're noticing and witnessing the value that this person has to give the world. But it's weird because it's almost like this person has been around for a long time. I don't know who the hell they are. Be nice to know, right? Okay, let's go into spirit and angel guide messages. Positive thinking. Positive thinking is vital in creating a healthy and abundant life. A positive attitude, along with positive beliefs and thoughts, are crucial ingredients for creating happiness. Don't worry, think love. Yeah, this is your choice. Normally, and this is the change in you, I think, the difference. Normally, you would maybe even get angry or be pissed that somebody is going against the norm so much simply because, you know, it's sort of endangering them. And you get angry that they're like endangering themselves. Instead, you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be that naysayer that maybe I was raised by or that I had to live through. I don't want to bring that negativity into somebody's life. Maybe, just maybe, there's potential where I don't see it. So I'm just going to support them. Forgiveness. Let the past go. Clear your heart and mind through forgiveness. There is definitely some sort of karmic cycle that you're trying to end. And your reaction, you reacting in a different way, is part of you. Even though it's hard for you to recognize things that are shadows, it's like you recognizing those shadows and saying, no, this is what I have to do differently. It's about forgiveness and stopping that karmic cycle is about reacting differently to this current situation. Middle path is here. Embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced and more peaceful life. It's not that you're not making a decision. That's Libra energy. It's you figuring out how to make both sides happy, make peace, or bring them together so that they can travel together and work together. Now, in some ways, I feel like this middle path is you. Right? It's not just like two different factions you're bringing together. It's this sense of you realizing that both things can be true and both things can be good. And you just don't want to yell and scream or rip somebody apart about it. Diversity. The world would be a boring place if we were all the same. Celebrate your uniqueness. You are special and much love. And as you see the uniqueness in yourself, there becomes an increased ability to enjoy and celebrate the uniqueness in somebody else. This is also a sense of wanting change, like wanting the differences in your life. And if you can experience them by getting out there and traveling and exploring the world right now, diversifying who you talk to, or like the influences that you let in your life, or the things that you read, or the podcasts that you listen to. It's like that is actually your way to the world right now. Archangel Raphael, feel yourself surrounded by my emerald green light. I, Archangel Raphael, offer you healing and solace. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun will shine eternally bright. Trust. So you're on the right track here, Leo. This is going to end well. You know, I know it's a crapshoot. I know there's this sense of, I'm taking a big risk here. What if I'm encouraging somebody to just jump off a cliff? You know what? No, this is going to end well. It's meant to end well. Vision. A positive outcome requires a positive vision. Visualize everyone involved in your present situation surrounded by light and love. And I think that that's what you do. In your heart, in your mind, it's not just you that you want successful. It's everyone. Make sure to include yourself also. Your love has the power to influence and transform the current events. So how you see things is going to be pivotal to how things work out. Positive outcome. The sun is about to burst through the clouds and you will soon see things in a different light. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. I'll see you in the extended. The link is below. Let's see what specifics we can dig up with tarot.